Hey, hey, hey. Hey, guys. Hey, I wanted to jump on right now and talk about some specific strategies on how to start aging in reverse. Many of you know I have a book coming out, not till May, but it's coming out in May called Aging in Reverse. And many of you know it's coming out, and I've been getting questions about what are some steps from the book that you can implement right now. So that's what I want to talk about tonight. So hey guys, thanks for joining me. For those of you new to my page that don't know me, I'm Natalie Jill. I'm a licensed master sports nutritionist and I'm a functional fitness trainer. And what I do is I kill fat for a living, not just the fat on your body, but those false assumed truths is what I call them. Those things that we start believing between our ears, things that we believe in our heads that stop us from getting massive results. So that's what I help kill. So thanks for joining me. If you are joining me right now, whether you are live or watching the replay, I would love to know where you're joining me from. That's the first question I have. And also, tell me your age. I'd love to know your age, especially as I'm talking on this topic of aging in reverse. I'm 47. I talk about that all the time. Many of you, if you know me, you've heard me mention that before, but I'd love to know how old you are. And I would love to know where you are joining me from. So thank you. And I'm watching on Instagram and also on Facebook. So I see you both. Hey, Corey. Hey, Rachel. Hi, guys. Hi, Dee Dee. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I'm going to give you guys some really specific things tonight. And they could be as general or specific as you want to make them, but they are as simple as I'm saying them. And they will literally change your whole progression on aging. It will change your whole perspective and how fast you progress with it by implementing these things. And they're so simple. You ready? You ready for what they are? Okay, number one is getting rid of what I call self-imposed stops. Now, what's a self-imposed stop? A self-imposed stop is something that we believe to be true just because we heard it to be true. Not because of fact, not because of our own experience, but because we heard it to be true. So an example of a self-imposed stop is when you get older, your metabolism slows down. Or when you get older, you get more aches and pains. Or when you get older, this happens. Those are examples, and we say them all the time, me included. I've been guilty of this before, but we say these things that we just hear are true, and they're really self-imposed stops because they're not necessarily things that have happened to us. They're things that we start to believe because of society, because someone said something, because of the media, because of something else, and we start believing those things to be true, and they become self-imposed stops because they literally will stop you from going for something. For example, take working out. Many of you know me because of workouts and fitness, but take working out. A lot of times I'll hear people say things like, well, when I was younger, I could do this. Or if I wasn't this age, I could go for that. Or I used to be able to do this. Or, oh, I don't even want to try that. I'm too old for that. That's an example of a self-imposed stop because you think it to be true because someone told it to you, because media told you, whatever it is. And what happens is you literally stop yourself from even ever going for it because you believe that it's not possible. How many of you know that story? And be honest with me, because I know that this comes up when we say, I'm too old, so I can't. It's too late for me. But I hear it all the time. I used to be able to do this and I can't now because of this. I get questions all the time like, hey, Natalie, is it true that your metabolism slows down with aging? Is it true that your hormones do this? Is it true this? And here's the interesting thing about that. Could I give you evidence of those things being true? Absolutely. There's research that supports that, of course. And could I also give you evidence? Could I also give you evidence of people that didn't affect? Think about that. So why do we always seek for validation on the problem that we have versus looking at who else solved this problem? Instead of looking at like who else can relate to this ailment I have or this problem I have with aging, who else can relate to that so I can validate how I feel? Why do we look for that instead of saying, ooh, let's go find the person that didn't happen to. Let's go find the person that is older and is still in amazing shape. Let's go find the person that's older and their metabolism didn't slow down. But we seem to look for these evidence things. We look for evidence and proof of whatever it is that we're going through. So my slogan, many of you know, is called excuses or solutions you decide. I say that all the time, excuses or solutions you decide, because the second that I validate your excuses, it might make you feel better for the moment. It might temporarily soothe you, feel like you're feeling this way for a reason. But it does nothing, it does absolutely nothing to empower you and give you possibility for something greater. It does nothing for that. It gives you absolutely nothing for that. So the reason I say that is not to be mean. It's not to say your excuses don't count, they're not important, you're not feeling that. It's because the second I validate an excuse, you have literally no opportunity to grow or expand or be amazing from there, because you get stuck on that excuse because I validate it. So by looking at solutions, we have opportunity, we have possibility, we have options. So the first thing in how do you reverse aging, how do you start to age in reverse, is you recognize those self-imposed stops that you're telling yourself, and you make a conscious decision to not use them anymore, to literally not use them anymore. So catching yourself from saying to your friends, doesn't it suck when we get old, or when I was younger this, or these aches and pains, or my metabolism, or whatever. The more we say those things, the more we find evidence to support them. I hope you're hearing what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that things aren't real for you. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, what is the point of validating those negative things? What's the point of validating it? Because there's no chance of getting better. So the number one thing, the very first step in starting to age in reverse, is literally saying, I'm not gonna let those false assumed truths, those self-imposed stops, I'm not gonna let those limit me anymore. I'm not gonna let those get in my way. I'm not gonna believe those things. So you start finding evidence to support the opposite. And that's number two. So number two is you make a decision that instead of finding people to validate all these things I'm feeling and I don't like about myself and whatever else it is, I'm going to literally find examples of the opposite, because there's always examples of the opposite. Many of you know I have a podcast, and if you don't, great thing for you to go find after this live. But I have a podcast called Leveling Up, Creating Everything from Nothing. And what I love about that is every single person I've interviewed on Leveling Up, every single person overcame some massive obstacle that they were told was not possible. So whether that's a financial thing or something with their body, their health, whatever it is, they overcame it. And what had to happen with all those people is they had to stop those false assumed truths and stop getting validation of things being wrong. I've told the story before, and many of you have heard it on my podcast, of Janine Shepherd, who I interviewed. What I loved about her story is she was an Olympic athlete. People called her Janine the Machine, super active, super fit, obviously an Olympic athlete. She was hit by a truck on a bike ride one day. Can you imagine? Hit by a truck on a bike ride getting ready for the Olympics. And she found herself helicoptered into hospital, wakes up, can't walk, totally paralyzed, and starts her process of digesting what had happened to her. And doctor after doctor after doctor told her, you will never walk again. Your career is over. You're not an athlete. You're never going to walk again. And what she decided right then, what she knew to decide right then, is I'm not listening to that. I'm not going to listen to that, because the second I accept that, this is her words, not mine, the second she accepted that, if she were to, then it gave her no chance of healing. It gave her no chance of healing. So she chose not to even listen to those doctors that were saying that. And instead she went on a search for how could she retrain her brain, how could she retrain herself and find a different method. And now today she's a walking paraplegic. True story. There's a movie about her. You can listen to her on my podcast. You can Google her name. But that's an example. And there's story after story of those people that had to decide that they weren't going to listen to the people and the things validating their excuses. Take somebody, maybe someone you love, somebody you care about, goes to the doctor, told that they have a disease, an illness, something wrong, and they're never going to get better. We all know somebody, or maybe it's happened to us. You're told that you'll never get better. It always baffles my mind why a doctor would say that. Why would a doctor tell you that? Why would they tell you that? The second somebody tells you you'll never get better, what do? We start believing that we'll never get better, and then we don't even try. It happens because you have this now self-imposed stop that you'll never get better. We're told we have any number of ailments, diseases, whatever. You can look at things one way or the other. It's really one or the other. Either this sucks, this is doomsday, this is horrible, and find evidence of everybody else who it was doomsday and horrible for. Or you can train yourself to look for, okay, who overcame this? Who made it great anyway? Who found the good in this? You can make those decisions to do that. That's the second step in aging reverse, is using your mind to do that. Because if you don't control your mind with those things and you look for excuses and you look for validation that getting older sucks, that everything goes wrong, blah, 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 then that's what's going to keep happening. But if you choose to not listen to that, if you choose to really not listen to that and look for evidence of the opposite, you start to find more evidence of the opposite. You start to attract more evidence, and that gives you all kinds of possibility. So those first two simple things, look at that. I didn't even talk about workout or diet yet, or supplements or anything like that. These are two mindset shifts that you can have, two mindset shifts. So what do you do next? What's the next thing? The third one? The third one is you literally decide and declare what it is that you want. So you have a choice as you get older. You could age gracefully and be happy with that and think that it sucks or whatever you want. Or you can decide, hey, I'm getting better every year. I'm going to learn more this year. I'm going to explore more this year. I'm going to have more fun. I'm going to have more hobbies. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to change my career. Whatever it is, you can decide that. But until you decide and declare it, you're going to stay stuck in the other direction. And that's really important to know. So don't buy into this, I'm too old, it's too late, or any of that. That's on you. That's on you to make that decision to change it. Many times I have people message and say, gosh, I see you and your friends, and it looks so great in California, and if I lived there, I'd be this too. But I want to let you know, those were all decisions. Every one of my friends, myself, all my friends, we all decided these things. We planted ourselves here. We found other people in this mindset. You can do that too from wherever you are. It's all a decision. It's all a decision, and refusing not to listen to the opposite. Why does 40 or 50 or 60 have to look a certain way? Why can't it look the way that you want it to look? Why does it have to look this way that you thought it's supposed to look? It can look any way that you want it to look. So really key there. Okay, so number 4. What's number 4? This one is going to go back to eating a little bit. I'm going to keep it really simple for you. So when it comes to diet, nutrition, as we're getting younger, we look at diet and nutrition as far as like, how can we not get overweight, right? That's what we look at. How do I not get overweight? How do I get thinner? How do I stay small? So we look at food that way as we're younger. Now, as you get older, it's important to look at it another way too, because food is also preventative medicine. By choosing good for you foods, you can get all the nutrients to help prevent things, help prolong things, help keep you young. So yes, maybe in your 20s you got away with Doritos and fast food and whatever, and you only looked at food when you wanted to lose weight or whatever. But when I get questions about my skin or about inflammation or pain or energy or focus, I'm going to tell you a lot of that comes down to your diet. When you eat natural, real, unprocessed foods that are good for you, foods that once grew, you get the vitamins and minerals from those. You get the energy from those. You become vibrant from eating those vibrant foods. So it becomes less important to look at eating as, a weight gain situation, and more about, wow, when I eat these foods, I have that focus, I have that energy, I have that clear skin, I do feel good. It changes so much. So before going on to like, do I have to do this crazy anti-aging diet? What do I have to do? It really is as basic as if you eat natural, unprocessed, real foods. That's the first step. Looking at, can I eat natural, real foods that once grew? Things that you can pronounce, basic foods. Think, lean meats and proteins, nuts and seeds, vegetables, unlimited vegetables, fruits. Anything that was natural and once grew is going to give you those benefits. And then hydration, adding that water into your diet is huge for skin, for focus, for energy. Did you know that most people walking around chronically fatigued that say that they're tired and foggy headed? You know what it actually is? What it actually is dehydration. And it's amazing how drinking that water can shift all of that for you, just by adding water in. And how do you get water in? I mean, as simple as just drinking water, literally. But also know you're getting water from tea, you're getting water from decaf coffee, you're getting water from fruits and vegetables. So every time you're eating those water-based foods, you're getting more hydration and water. So it can be as simple as that too. And then another thing I wanted to share with you, I promised you 5 of these things. Another one is as simple as move your body. So I could give you all kinds of crazy exercises, and I'm happy to. You all know I share tons of exercises and workouts, but it's not about that. It's about keeping your body in motion. You know that a body in motion stays in motion. It's about doing things, just moving. And what happens, especially you women in your 40s and 50s, I know this. You start thinking, I've got more aches and pains. This is happening. Can't work out like I used to. So we start getting more and more sedentary. And the more sedentary you get, the more pains flare up, the more inflammation comes up, the more you don't want to do anything. So it's not about taking massive action and doing crazy classes and high intensity and all the time and all of this. It's about how can you move your body a little bit every day? How can you use that body? How can you walk more? How can you do a few challenging exercises for you just to keep things in motion, to keep yourself moving so you don't break down and get in that spot. You want to keep things moving. It might sound counterintuitive. I'll share that, this is actually interesting. I had, many of you know, about 16 months ago, I had a ruptured disc in my lower back. I had a ruptured disc from degenerative disc disease, and I pushed it, and I had a ruptured disc, and I ended up in emergency surgery. Now, I tell you that not because of the emergency surgery and the recovery. I've already shared that many, many times with a lot of you. But I tell you that because I have basically no disc right now between L5 and S1. I have about basically no disc there. So I was in, a few months ago, a lot of pain there. And I started going down those self-imposed stops of, well, gosh, maybe I just can't work out like I used to. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe this is what happens. Because see, this is what happens. Even me, even the most motivated, the most positive person will go down this road sometimes when you're in pain. And you'll start thinking, just as I did, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can't move my back. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. And I started going down there. And what was interesting is my back kept getting worse and worse and worse. The more I thought I can't use my back, I can't do these things, the worse it got. So I babied it. I babied my back constantly. It was like, take those discs out of the equation, make sure I'm using everything but that area. So I was super stiff all the time. Like if I was sitting up, it was constant, like making sure I was in a specific position so I'm not hurting my back. Well, my back pain kept getting worse. So what was interesting is I was on this mission to figure out why it was getting worse. And I came across a physical therapist that I absolutely love now. And he challenged me to work into the pain. And I thought, you're crazy. What are you talking about, work into the pain? But he challenged me, he put me on a special machine where you literally work into that pain. So I would isolate everything on my body and literally work this little area on my back that was so painful. And what he said to me was how I felt. He said, it's so stiff right there from you not using it that when you have any little movement there, that's what's creating the pain. And here I was thinking I had to avoid completely using it, and that's why I was having pain. I wasn't avoiding it enough. So by listening to him and actually moving into that pain and getting it moving again, I literally have no pain in my back right now. Now, that wasn't overnight. It took a few weeks, but I have no pain there right now from moving it again. And I share that example because so many times we think, oh, I'm so stiff, or oh, my knee, or this or that. And then we just completely avoid. And when you're not in motion, you don't stay in motion. So by completely avoiding, we're not fixing the problem either. We're not fixing it either. So it's about looking at things a little bit differently and moving into things. So move your body. When you stay not moving, you create more problems. Move your body. Do whatever it takes to keep your body moving. That's what it takes, is doing that. So, hey guys, I'm going to take some questions. So I see a lot of them popping up. I want to definitely see. Let's see. I don't do that stuff, but it's your mindset that makes you. Yes, mindset is absolutely something that keeps you young. It's number one, first thing. Let's see. I'm 52. I have to. Okay, so Michelle, see, I'll challenge you right there. Michelle said, I'm 52. I get to get creative and work around my old lady pains. Yes, you do. But I'm going to challenge you that just by saying my old lady pains, which it's easy to say those things, that is creating that self-imposed stop. Because this is what happens. You say to your friend, oh, I got to work around my old lady pains. And then your friend says, oh, yeah, it sucks getting older. And then somebody else says, yeah, how old are you? And you guys all compare ages. And next thing you know, we're all talking about how in our 50s we're in aches and pains, right? That's what happens. That's how easy it happens. So what would it look like if you didn't say that? And instead it was, I'm 52 and I'm getting creative. You just stop it there. It doesn't have to be, I'm getting around my old lady pains. It's amazing how your thoughts will turn into feelings in your body. And the more you say things or believe things like that, the more that starts happening to you. So be really aware of that. Many of you might know that we actually, on average, have about 80,000, believe it or not, 80,000 thoughts a day. Can you believe that? 80,000 random thoughts a day. Now, we don't say all these out loud. We don't share them, but those thoughts totally become reality, because you can become an entirely different person a year from now by literally just changing your thoughts and your actions. So be aware of that. So those thoughts, those things that we say like old lady pains, those become a reality because we take actions. The action on that would be, I'm not going to take an action. I'm not going to work hard there. And next thing you know, that becomes our reality. So being really aware of what it is that we're saying, what it is that we're validating, what it is that we're thinking, and really working to shift those. So let's see. I'm going to take a few more questions. Let's see. How do you find more positive people like you? Good question, Molly. Thank you. So and first and foremost, I want to share, positive people are not positive 24/7. Like, let's just be real. Let's be real. I'm not positive 24/7. I'm committed to working towards being positive, and I'm committed to having people in my life that are that way. And I drown out the negativity with that. So that's the first and foremost. I don't believe that anyone is 24/7 positive, but that's why it's even more important to surround yourself with those things. So how do you do that? You do that a couple of ways. One, you make sure the information that's coming in is that. So like choosing to be listening to podcasts and reading and watching people on social media that you look up to and that you learn from, instead of just scrolling, watching reality TV, reading gossip magazines, so that you choose it. Like, what information is coming in? What are you listening to? That's number one. Number two is you become a stand for it. Like, you tell people literally that are not that to you, that that's not what you want in your life anymore. And you just get real with it. Like, you get very clear that this is not what I want in my life. I'm working towards being positive, having a better outlook on things, and I'm going to support you that way, and I want you to support me that way. I'll tell you, my husband, Brooks, and I are super committed to that. And it doesn't mean we don't have a bad day or a grumpy moment. We definitely do. But because we're so committed to that with each other, and we know that's each other's vision to stay positive and looking for the benefit of all things and the pros, we will drown out the others with that. So that's the commitment there, is surrounding yourself. I know that all my friends, anyone that works with me, that's a friend of mine, that's in my life, everyone in my life knows that about me, and I request that of them. So we hold each other high with that, and that's how you do it. So, and if you don't have that, you at least look for those groups, you look for those podcasts, you look for that information to get that in. Your tribe, who you surround yourself with, is everything when it comes to that. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Hi. Oh, you're 45 and you currently have a torn ACL. Yes. Yeah. So see, you can have a torn ACL and be working to be amazing still, right? It's awesome. I love it. It is totally true what we tell ourselves, Molly. Totally true. Let's see. Vegan runner sheep. Hi, your wife needs to hear it. You can play it for her after this. Will stay up. And yes, now, oh, thank you. Lee says she's thankful for my message. Thank you. Let me see what other questions I have here. Yes, Brenda, thank you. Brenda's saying everything you're saying is so true. I'm very happy that you're sharing this. Thank you, Brenda. You know what, it sounds so, I know a lot of times people hear this stuff and they think it sounds so woo-woo and they roll their eyes at it and whatever. But let me tell you, it's totally true. And you know, it's funny because there's a bunch of clients, and I've been showing a lot of their transformations recently because these are clients I started working with last year. But every single one of them, when I talk to them now, they're like, I can't believe how much my mindset has changed. This is them talking, and they'll say, I can't believe I'm a different person. My mindset totally changed. And they'll tell me things like, you know, when you first told me this stuff, I thought it was crazy and I rolled my eyes at it. But that is what changed them. And I'll show you some examples. This is Susanna. She might be watching this replay because she always watches my lives. When I met her, she didn't have a morning routine. She didn't have positive people in her life. She didn't have any of that. She was living in a different world of a lot of negativity, a lot of hard on herself, not happy with herself. And this is her now. She's a grandma and she's a hot mama. Check her out. And that was literally her changing her mindset before she took in all the nutrition and everything else. And that's what it takes, you guys. You can change your nutrition, your diet, everything else. But until you change that mindset pattern, until you change what you're thinking, your thoughts, your actions, who you're hanging out with, nothing changes. This is another example. This is Landa. When I met her, same thing. Landa thought it was just a diet she needed to change. She was looking for that diet that, you know, give me the workout, give me the diet. This is Landa now. Hot, right? Look at her. Look at her. Dang. That's from changing her mindset and then being open. She came to my breakthrough weekend. She dove right into the mindset stuff. It opened her up to making the changes with the diet and the workouts, and everything changed for her. This is another one. I love this picture. Look at these jeans here. See that? So this is Terry. Meet Terry. Let me show you her before and after. This was her shrinking jeans. So this was Terry before. Terry's mindset was, I'm older, I'm overweight, it's too late, it's not gonna work for me, nothing's gonna work for me. This is Terry now. I mean, seriously, look at that. What is going on? Look at that. That's craziness. That's not just, she'll tell people it was my diet. She'll say, oh, I did Natalie Jill's diet. She'll absolutely say that. You dig with her, she'll tell you she changed her mindset, she changed her thoughts, she changed her actions, she changed her whole life, and her dreams shrunk like that. Crazy. She came to my breakthrough weekend. She declared it. We were on top of a hill. She declared it. She said, I'm going to be this. I'm aging in reverse. And she's absolutely did. Here's another one. I love showing Nicole. It's Nicole right here when I met her. She was in that negative, depressed spot, not feeling good about herself. all of it. This is her now. Look at that. What? Same thing. Came to my breakthrough weekend. Nicole, this was a crazy story. We went on my breakthrough weekends. We go always find like a really scenic place and we make a declaration for what we want in the coming year. And Nicole, looking like that at the time, stood at the top and said, I am going to be in a yellow polka dot bikini feeling hot this time next year. That's what she said. She said it. She declared it. She made the statement, changed her mindset, changed all of her thoughts, changed her actions. This is her now. I mean, seriously, look at that. Incredible, right? I can show you lots of these pictures. I'm going to show you a couple more. This is Karen, same thing. Before and after. Totally different person. It's not just the diet. It's not just the workout, you guys. It would not be right of me to tell you that it is. It is a total mindset change. And mindset works with everything, you guys. It works with absolutely everything. This is not just about getting healthy. This is about aging in reverse, which means up-leveling your whole life. That's how you level up your life. You change your mindset, you change your thoughts, you change your actions. Everything changes. I've done this time and time again, not with just myself, but with clients. I'll tell you, when I was in my 30s, my late 30s, I'm 47 now. When I was in my late 30s, I was this. That was me after I had my daughter. And I declared I was going to be a fitness model. And people thought I was crazy, right? This is me and this is last year. Last year. At age 46, that was me. Is that diet and exercise? Sure. Is it more mindset and deciding? Absolutely, it's mindset and deciding, and it's who I surrounded myself, who I hung out with, and you could do that exact same thing. You could do that exact same thing. Okay, I'm gonna take some more questions, and I also wanted to share an opportunity. You guys knew this was coming, right? I've been talking about this a lot on lives, and I'm gonna keep talking about it until I have the exact right crowd, because I am picky about who I surround myself with and who I let into my home and who I'm around. But I do, my favorite thing, that all those women I just showed you, all those pictures I just showed you, all of them started with what's called my breakthrough weekends. My breakthrough weekends, I call them a weekend, but it's actually a 3-month experience. So basically, you come here with me in San Diego with a small group of women on a mission like you, and I hand select these people based on an application. You come here, you spend 2.5 days with me, where we have an amazing, incredible catered meal the first night with the best chef in the world. You're gonna be obsessed with this chef. It's awesome, great experience. You learn how I eat when it tastes great too. We then spend the next 2 days together going really deep, getting really clear on not only your vision, your purpose, your passion, what is next for you to up-level your life, but we literally help you get everything out of the way that is holding you back from achieving that. So all those self-imposed stops, those false assumed truths, those things in your gap that are holding you back from becoming your best you possible, we go deep with you and we fix that for you. How do I fix that for you? It's not a magic bullet or a magic wand, but when you spend 2.5 days in this type of situation, you have life-changing experiences. You can listen to me on a live or a podcast or read a book or spend an hour with somebody, but something about spending those 2.5 days like that, when it's focused on you and we get to the root of things, it's a lasting change and it's amazing. It's incredible what happens with that. And then we follow that with 3 months of small group coaching with just the 10 of you from that group. And you have those lasting changes and you become that transformation. You get hot again. You start aging in reverse. You leave on fire with your passion and your purpose and with a new tribe of people that are going to help support you. So you get all of that. It's super cool. So how do you apply for that? How do you do that? I'm going to put it on Facebook right here. On Instagram, I can't type it. But if you go to www.nataliejillapply.com, and I'm putting it on Facebook right here, you can fill out a small application. It shares the dates with you this starts. And then I ask a few questions. And then based on what you write, so make sure you give me a lot of information, me and my husband, Brooks, are going through them. And we are hand selecting. We're calling some people, having a conversation. And if you're right, we will offer one of those spots to you. We are about 60% full, I believe. I think April is more full than February. We do have a few spots left for both of them. So if you are at all thinking about it, apply. I'm also going to share that this is, although I have a million free things, you guys, you can Google my name and find all kinds of free things on social media. I've got free videos. I've got a YouTube channel. I've got free everything. This is definitely not free. This is my time. And I go deep with you on this. And this is definitely not something that's free. So I'm just going to share that. I've had a few applications asking for that to be free, and that's not going to happen. So I'm just letting you know, I put a lot of money and time into those experiences. So that is something I definitely do not do for free. So don't apply if that's what you're thinking. But if I'm not going to leave you hanging, I have many free things that you can find from me on YouTube or online, PDFs, anywhere. But this is sort of like, actually not sort of, it is the Cadillac of what I offer. So this is definitely not a free experience, but it is a timeless, it is you can't even put a price on it for the value you get from it, because you leave literally a new person with your vision, with your passion, feeling confident again, with a plan to be hot, confident, and just on fire with your life. So this could be the turning point that you need. So if you're at all thinking about it, please apply. It's nataliejillapply.com, and I would love to have you. So, okay, take a few questions. Let's see what I'm missing here. Say it again, please. Okay, yes, it is nataliejillapply.com. Let's see if I can type it on Instagram. I don't think I can do that. Try that. I gotta get creative here. It's hard to type on Instagram and talk on Facebook Live at the same time. But Natalie, I'm gonna try it right now. nataliejillapply.com. I'm doing it. Look at this. You guys should see my little setup here. I have got my phone balanced up here on my laptop trying to do this. So let's see, apply. Let's see if I can pin it. Can I pin it? I don't know how to pin it, but I just typed it there. Natalie Jill. Oh, there we go. Pin it. I pinned it. Yes, I did it. So yeah, nataliejillapply.com. Oh, thank you, Lisa. You wrote it too. Yes, Lisa on Life. What's your name, Lisa on Life? I just see Lisa on Life, so I don't know what your name is. But yeah, nataliejillapply.com. Fill it out, and we'll take a look. And I've got 2 dates. One is the weekend of February 15th, and the other is the weekend of April 12th. And I've got a few spots left in each. We have, my gosh, we've gone through about 180 applications, believe it or not. And there's many that we didn't even call, because I can tell by looking at it, they're not the right match. And then there's some that we talked to and maybe they're not the right match. And there's some we have invited. So we are filling this up, but I will keep talking about this and sharing it until I have the right group. I'm really committed to having the right group of this. Now, how do you know if you're right for this? Well, ideally, I'm going to say no age is off limits for this, but because I'm 47, I love having people close in age to me. So I would say ideally you're within 10 years of me. So call it, 37 to 57, ideally. Doesn't mean you can't come if you're older or younger, but because I'm 47, that's ideal. This one is only for women. Sorry, men, love you men, but this one is for women only. You are really ready to try something different. Actually, you're not ready to try something different. You're committed to making a change and doing something different. And you're open-minded to a new method, because this is not just about working out and nutrition. This is about really going deep and getting to the root of what's holding you back and figuring out a way to make you thrive. So you're really committed to making that happen. And I want people that are committed, ready to take action. So if you're one of those people that doesn't think you'll actually take action, you're probably not a candidate for this. I want people really ready to take action. I invest a lot of time into these, and I invest a lot into whoever comes to these groups. So you would be the person that takes action, and then I would love working with you. So let's see. Will you have more of these later in the year? I don't know that I will be having another one of these. This is probably my only 2 like this year. I'm sorry, TM. This is probably my only 2. I did 3 last year. They were incredible. This is one of my groups from last year. Look how happy everyone is. This was so fun. This was one of my groups from last year. I'm definitely doing these 2. I don't know if I'm going to do another one this year. Probably not. I may do something else that'll be different. But if you're at all thinking and you can at all possible make this happen, amazing, then do it. Let's see. Take a few more. I think I got most of the questions. All right, if I missed your questions, you can definitely chime in and I will reply back later. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Have a good night. Bye.